I'm really pleased that people are still here at 4:15. It shows how important the Metaverse topic is. But we have a great panel today, and I think this is a really important subject. So I think I'd like to start by introducing myself, David Palmer. I'm blockchain and Web3 lead for Vodafone. Pleased to be here. And then we could go around.
Yeah, my name is Leon. I'm the COO and co-founder of Metaverse Game Studio.
My name is Łukasz. I'm from Darkverse. I'm head of blockchain economy.
Hello, my name is Nicolas. I'm the CCO and founder of Algoritcom. And nice to meet you all. I'm very happy to be here today. And I'm very glad to be here. So thank you for coming.
Really interesting topic. Metaverse, I think last year was the word of the year. What I'm reading this morning, I was reading the Financial Times over from London, and it said if you do a Metaverse search now it's 80% down, and what was all the fuss about? I'd like to really say first of all that I'm very honored to be with this panel because these guys are actually building stuff. And I'd also like to maybe reiterate or reinforce the fact that stuff is still happening, development's still happening in the Metaverse. So please just describe the Metaverse to me. So if we start with you, Nicolas.
Yeah. So for me, the Metaverse, it's a virtual space where you can interact with other people. And nowadays, we are in a very changing world where the technology are changing. And I think that the Metaverse, it's a new way for express new things. Marketing, you can express products, you can see on 3D, you can also play, and you can do a lot of things in a real space. So I think the Metaverse is the future, on the e-commerce, is the future of gaming, is the future of a lot of sectors. So nowadays, the Metaverse, it's a really important technology because we are changing the world. I think the virtual space with an avatar can be very interesting for the community of the brands. And
Thank you. Łukasz.
Okay, hello. So maybe I will start from different approach. I will say what Metaverse isn't. For me, I mean, what average player it's imagine, such real player one, it's something we are really far from. So Metaverse is not such like world which we can be able quickly do everything we can imagine and which we really like to do virtually. Metaverse for me is like kind of another layer. It's some kind of like new medium actually, which allows people to interact different way, to create some kind of their own part of the world, like much cheaper and easier than they will like build a house or build anything in the real world, and interact with each other on like as gamers, as social creatures, which we are, and probably much more layers which we still don't know.
Yep. So I think it's a bit, maybe I can describe it a bit more concise. I think it's going to be a set of virtual worlds that will be so compelling that people will be able to be incentivized to participate in these worlds, potentially more than in the real world. They will be able to work, hang out, and do most of the real world activities digitally. And no matter the medium, whether that's VR, AR, some other medium potentially in the future, it could even be mobile. I do think this is what the Metaverse will look like in the future. I don't think there will be. I might get ahead of myself. Go ahead.
No, I think it's really interesting. McKinsey don't put their name on much. I don't know if there's any fans here, but they forecast a $5 trillion opportunity by 2030 for the metaverse. Recently, just last week, I read another forecast which was looking at 4 trillion as an optimistic track. So if you look at GDP, gross domestic product, that is roughly nearly 5% of global GDP. So that is not gaming. That is not people just doing social media. That's real. That's a real chunk of things we do today. So I wanted to really look at this because I think we've got a good section of sort of retail, business, gaming, social and gaming, a bit of gaming on both. What do you think of that? Where do you see this opportunity being realized? Leon.
Good question. I think that gaming, or basically making gamified experiences fun, will be the primary driver driving people towards these virtual worlds. Wherein, there has to be a compelling experience, whether that's on the social front with all your friends being able to hang out in a digital world and create their own items, create their own surroundings, worlds, whatever it might be, could be the compelling driver that brings us forward. That's, I think, the primary focus of a lot of these metaverse companies as well, including ours. So that's my pick.
Okay. I will maybe start, from some kind of comparison, because I was last year in conference which was related to 3D industry, like animation, mostly studios like Pixar, and there was vice president of Epic who said, let's say about metaverse that will be Web 4, and people let's say, what the hell? And he just said about interoperability. So I think the future of metaverse, that now opportunity is to create something for nowadays players of Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft. The kids who playing and teenagers playing such games now, they will be the first native in metaverse. They will expect something similar, but let's say more for adults. In my opinion, we should create something for them, like the next game for this generation. And this interoperability will be something that allows us to exchange the assets between each other, between engines, or thanks to crypto, by the way, but also about the interoperability of 3D.
I think that's really interesting. But $5 trillion is a very, very significant amount. You could argue that in Web3, maybe part of the failure is that we created technologies and protocols which were looking for solutions. To realize 5 trillion, you've got to be creating things that are going to replace things that are being done already in different ways. Nicolas, you're from the sort of business side, the retail side.
Yeah.
How far do you think metaverse retail can go to replace or displace some of the e-commerce that we have?
Okay, so I think that for e-commerce, it will be a very interesting thing for brands, because the community will interact more with the brand. Also, the companies can have a more immersive way for interact with their community. I think also that for the future, I don't know, but maybe nowadays our platform is centralized. Maybe in the future, when the tech will upgrade a bit, I think we will do more decentralized. Nowadays we are in Web 2, but we can say Web 2.5 because we are only also connecting wallets for blockchain technology, for the payments. You can also enter and pay with cryptos. It's interesting that on our metaverse, don't limit it only with one payment, like crypto or credit card, because if you link both, I think it's interesting. Also, I think that in the future, the metaverse, you have to educate a lot the community in social network. You have also to have more adoption for the people know how about the metaverse. I think the metaverse is not only virtual glasses, so, also with computer, with phones, with accessibility for everybody. And
I think that's a really important point. I just wanted to pick up on that. But again, 5 trillion, significant part of GDP. How are you going to do that with glasses on, right? So I think one of the big issues is the AR, VR glasses, and the fact that that's not really convenient for work or for business or anything that's not gaming. So how important, guys, is access? Is that what we need to be working on? Do we need to be working on easier ways to access, for example, the smartphone?
Yeah, I think that if you can link the e-commerce and gaming, because gaming also have a very strong community, I think that if you can link business and gaming, this is the metaverse, I think.
Access.
Access, okay. Like, I think this should be like similar to like Fortnite now. So like you should be able to use it everywhere because the immersive storytelling can be happen everywhere. I mean, people actually playing the role on the game in their imagination, like playing RPG games on paper, like with dices. So actually, for me, the like all tools should be able, for different like experience at all. So like, if you're using VR glasses, you have some kind of experience, but in the phone, you should also be able, like at least, like experience it enough and like play and enjoy yourself, whatever you like. So that's for me, all the tools possible are okay. Yeah, that's
Leon.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think most of these glasses are expensive and they're not really, definitely not ready for mass adoption. I think that the largest part of the world lives in Asia and everybody has a smartphone. So I definitely think in the short term, these virtual worlds will grow on existing mediums. However, I do think that the technology is making massive advancements with potentially Apple releasing some glasses this year and a whole lot of companies investing billions into this space to make a compelling medium to access these potential worlds. So I do think that in the next 5 to 10 years there will be new mediums coming out. Could be Neuralink chips, could be something else that gives you a compelling experience and immerses you in a world in a way that doesn't give you much friction like the glasses do currently. So I think it's still very early, and I do think that the opportunity is still very large. So it's just a matter of seeing who captures the market share first, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think one of the things, unless we've been under a rock for the last sort of 3 months, is that Mark Zuckerberg of Meta, formerly known as Facebook, is getting a lot of stick from investors and the media about the investment in Metaverse, and the share price has not gone up since the name change. Has he got it wrong, Lucas?
The question is the meta. I mean, like what they.
Has Zuckerberg got it wrong to invest in Metaverse, or has he got it wrong in terms of investing in glasses and the types of experience?
Okay. I mean, I think the Oculus is really good tool. I mean, many of my friends using it. There is, for example, such application which is sitting in the theater. I mean, in cinema, and you're watching movies with others, and like people can introduce and host the movie to the people, which even they own on the DVD. And it's really social, great tool, like people really love. I was amazed actually when I hear from people about it. So I think the Oculus is really great. When it comes to Metaverse, like they have really big challenge because they are a tool for 2 billion people and access around the world with people with different type of internet, different tools to use it. So like they need to like make it, let's say, quality between balance between the quality and the performance. So in my opinion, it's like good way, but just for such huge company, it will take time to make it proper way, and we as builders of something smaller can focus on like smaller group, and which are makes us more flexible. So.
Okay, one of the other sort of big announcements over the last few months has been OpenAI. So ChatGPT has been massive, and I think one of the reasons why people are excited is that it gives immediate benefit. People can resonate with it immediately. And the CEO of Microsoft, recently said that Web3 and Metaverse needs a OpenAI or a ChatGPT moment. He would say that because they're investing in it. But how important is AI going to be to the Metaverse?
Well, these virtual worlds will probably have non-player characters, NPCs, and the more compelling the experience in conversating with an NPC will be, the more likely players will stick around. So, well, I would say that these will be run on AI. They still are, or they already are on existing games, but the AI is currently really picking up the pace in terms of how compelling their answers are. So I do definitely think that there will be a lot of AI in these worlds to entertain users whenever there might not be somebody around in their area, or to simply give them compelling instructions on what to do next. This will move away from the decision tree based answers that current games mostly employ. So yeah, I definitely think it's going to be in there.
Nicolas.
Yeah, I also want to say that the people are a bit scared about the word metaverse because they don't know how to enter, or if you need the glasses or whatever. I think that I love the word virtual space because I think metaverse is linked to meta, and I think that metaverse have to be maybe a bit more realistic. I don't know, but for the community, for the people interact more with the metaverse, I think the realism is important, and the cartoon are not really important now, because it's true for gaming, Roblox, Fortnite, yes, but maybe for business, the people want realism. So
I think that's a good point. The other key thing to the metaverse is that we all of a sudden have multiple identities, which we do now, but it's limited how much you can do with your alter egos or your identities in the virtual world. The metaverse makes that real, right? And the ability to contract, to have liability, it becomes ever more important, and also the ability to, or the importance of policing the metaverse, of having accountability. How important is digital identity or interoperable digital identity to the metaverse? Lucas.
Okay, so this is actually about connected questions to the previous one, because like OpenAI and just ChatGPT or any like generative AI, they can actually help creators with this interoperability. Creating assets. I'm from gaming industry, so I know already like people in the industry using the generative art and other AI to like improve the work when it comes to creating storylines, when it comes to like us, like was already said, that about the dialogues of the NPCs, and this creating of assets in the metaverses will need to be much faster and cheaper. So I will start from that point, and this interoperability is really important because everyone, I think, is driven by the different game, different world. Like people nowadays playing like so many games, and they're driven by so many stories. So actually, like probably there will be no one metaverse which is for everyone. There will be like kind of bubbles which people will jump. Someone like fantasy, sometimes someone like realistic world. Someone will go for shopping, crazy like in Dubai, like such 3D shopping mall, and someone just want to like fly on a dragon. So this is, I think, that will be important. And identity of people, I think they also will switch them between many avatars. because people like to look different than in the like real world as well. So I would like to be maybe cute girl like as in anime, or maybe some like Pokemon or whatever, because like this is something I'm not in the real world, so I want to see. Yeah, that's it.
Interesting. Leon, how important is interoperable, decentralized digital identity?
Yeah, that's a whole lot of buzzwords in one sentence. No, I definitely think that, I agree with a lot of your points in terms of the multiple bubbles, the multiple worlds that are currently already existing in multiple very large-scale games that people hop between. And there's also some sort of overlap in terms of these identities, right? There's Epic Games accounts, there's Steam accounts that are connected to, well, all of their avatars in all those games. There's this set of social circles that they have on the Steam platform or the Epic Games platform. And all the functionalities that come with that sort of account level structure that the platform basically brings. So I definitely think that whatever we're sort of speculating on is already sort of existing, but it will simply get more sophisticated. And there will be definitely more perks to doing it this way, wherein you can have basically one level or one set of badges or achievements connected to your game account that's viewable and accessible from all these different games, and basically together make this metaverse reality of many experiences. That's how I see it.
Have we got it wrong? So there's a lot of emphasis on the immersive experience. Isn't the metaverse ultimately a business, right? So I'm going to ask you this, Nicolas. Should we be focusing on how we get business into the metaverse, how we get business and identity, how we get businesses' wallets, how we get businesses transacting in the metaverse?
Okay. The identity, I think your avatar in our platform or in general?
No, just in general. So
General.
more.
Okay.
My point is that we are focusing on avatars, we are focusing on games, we are focusing on people with glasses. But if we're really going to get adoption and revenue and business in the metaverse, should we not be focusing on how we can set up a business in the metaverse, how that business can trade, how that business interacts with people in the metaverse?
I think first is adoption and education about all the people. Nowadays, the people don't know how is the metaverse or how we can enter on the metaverse. So I think the more important is adoption and education. And you don't worry if you are gaming platform, business platform. I think for business platform, like you say, you have to have a good roadmap. What do you are selling? The product is very important because finally you are selling something different in a very immersive virtual space. Is very different. But for the transaction, I think that if you are the owner of all the transaction you do, I don't know how to explain in English, but maybe if you are in a platform where you are a security payment, blockchain technology can take a traceability of all the transactions you are doing. Maybe you have the security of this platform, and on the Web3 also.
Exactly. I mean, that was going to be my next question. So I just got some bullet points, right? So and then I think we got to close off with the last questions. So metaverse, Web3, decentralized or centralized, Leon?
Well, definitely partly centralized, I think. Well, somebody has to pay for the server costs, and there's definitely often a team that fixes the bugs in any of these worlds. So you can also set up a community and build something from the community side of things in terms of this. But I definitely think that the centralized or partially centralized way is the most realistic way. But I do think that a lot of the assets in these worlds could be centrally owned and use some standards that are accepted on the blockchain, for instance, and allow users to trade these assets all over the ecosystem in a decentral way, wherein that centralized party cannot take them away from you or prevent you from having them. So I think it's a hybrid approach. Yeah.
Lucas.
My heart say decentralized because we're building our metaverse on Alv0 blockchain. So like I really like want to do this way, but my brain said actually there will be both because the adaptation of the technology is still slow. Players don't like the word metaverse. They don't like NFTs. They are still not educated, like Nicolas said. So we need to actually do lots of work to like normal players, like to convince normal players to come to the metaverse. So for first few years now will be both, but I think that the direction is decentralized because if people understand how it's good and how they can benefit from it, they will go this way.
Okay. So final questions, guys. I'll start with Nicolas. Where do you see the metaverse in the next 12 to 18 months? So just answering the panel question, is it the next version of the internet?
Yeah.
So in the next 12 to 18 months, what do you think?
I am agree with Luca, but also I think that centralized nowadays, all the platforms are centralized because I think the centralized platform is a bit with the future technology, maybe yes, but now our platform are centralized, but in the future also we want maybe decentralized. In the future I see the metaverse like all the people will interact with immersive community, build strong community on gaming, on business. And yes, I think is the future of the technology of the internet, yes.
Lucas?
Okay. Like in next like 20 months, I expect that like companies working on metaverses, basically those who are decentralized and they're on crypto, they will like, I mean, they learned their lesson. The new project learned the lesson of the previous like Sandbox or Decentraland, and they actually will make it like different. This is our approach. We are focusing on first making game and storytelling, and then add metaverse layers, social part, to actually allow players to do something which they like, which is playing game, role playing. So I expect better quality products and like much like different approaches than in this, let's say, first try of metaverses which happened in the last 2 years.
Excellent. Leon.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I definitely think next 12 to 18 months will make big waves. There will be a lot of movers and shakers when it comes to new releases of metaverse worlds, games, also mediums with new glasses and upgrades on that front, moving quickly as well. So I don't think we'll have this fully fledged idealistic world in 18 months. However, I do think that we'll be inching ever closer to a sort of metaverse reality, and the exact expression of this will become more and more clear over the next 2 years.
Excellent. I mean, I think the panel's been excellent. We are on an evolutionary journey, not a revolutionary journey, in my view. And I'm just excited that aspects of that, each aspect of that evolution has been covered by this panel. So I'd like if we could just give the panel a round of applause. And looking forward to the next discussion.